So here we go. All right, so now we're on question 2. And this was a 2019 question 2, and quite frankly, really tough grading on this one. So researchers are investigating, including the benefits in adding a pheromone to a cologne in hopes of increasing the attractiveness of male humans to their female human counterparts. In addition to, in an attempt to find the correct amount of pheromone to add to the cologne, researchers will create 4 different concentrations of cologne and pheromone. One was a 0 milliliters per 100. Another is 1.25 per 100, 2.5 per 100, and 3.75 per 100. 600 male volunteers from around small towns and large cities in Texas, aged 25 to 35, are available for the study. I bet they are. So the male subjects will be randomly assigned to one of the pheromone cologne concentrations. The subjects will be taken to randomly selected places in the town or city where they live to meet women in hopes of acquiring a date for some point in time in the future. The study will continue for 3 months. What makes this an experiment as opposed to an observational study? Very simply, it's an experiment because the male subjects are randomly assigned to treatment groups. Okay? Identify the treatments. All right? So the treatments are the 4 different levels of the pheromone mixtures. So basically the pheromone mixture is our explanatory variable, and we have the 4 mixtures, the 0, the 125, the 2.5, and the 3.75. Experimental units. Usually when we talk about humans, we refer to them as experimental subjects, but units or subjects can be used interchangeably. So the men are the subjects, okay? So they're going to receive the treatments. And the response variable in this case is the number of dates these desperate individuals ended up with. So what was the purpose of including 0? Well, basically, if I include 0, that means I'm getting nothing. I'm essentially getting the placebo. And so that's our control group. And why do we have a control group? It provides a baseline for the number of dates that a male without any would get if they did not have pheromones. All right? So it's just like, hey, in general, if we sent a bunch of guys out, how many dates would they acquire anyway, with or without it? And so the purpose is to determine whether or not the number of dates was due to the treatments or due to an outside variable such as time of the year like prom, homecoming, or New Year's. Just saying, there's more dates had around those times. More money spent. Describe how the treatments could be randomly assigned to the experimental units so that each treatment has the same number of units. Well, simply put everybody's name in a hat and mix. I could have assigned the numbers, but I could have put them all in a hat and mix. And the first 150 names, that was 600 divided by 4 is 150. So the first 150 would receive the placebo, the 0. The next would receive the 1.25, and so on and so forth. Provide at least 2 reasons why it's important that the concentrations be randomly assigned to the volunteers. It's important as the treatments be randomly assigned to equalize accounted for differences. Ooh. To equalize confounding variables in the volunteers that might affect the study, such as looks, confidence, or wealth. I'm not saying that those people with better looks or more confidence or more money get more dates, but they do. So that would be one reason, controlling for outside variables or minimizing the effect of outside variables. The other reason is if we randomly assign treatments, this is no longer an observational study. This is an experiment, and we can show causation. All right? If the results were found to be statistically significant, to what population could the results be generalized to? Well, we can't generalize it to New York. We can't generalize it to California. We can't generalize it to old bald stats teachers. You have to generalize it to 25 to 35-year-old males who live in small towns and big cities, specifically in Texas.